See, this is what happens when you have swag. It just falls. That's its only purpose. It will just collect dust and then fall.
To be quite honest, I love my Reese and Feyre bookends.
What the fuck kind of... What?
Hot take, I don't like bookends.
Hot take, I don't like you.
Hot take, I hate you guys.
Oh, this is great.
This is gonna end friendships.
Everyone, welcome back to Romancing the Monsters. I'm Em.
Hi, I'm S.
I'm Seff.
And today, it's actually the first episode we're technically recording after our best of, so this feels like us coming back to podcasting in 2023. So to ease ourselves back into the swing of things, we thought we would maybe do a little bite-sized, which basically is a series we have on the podcast where we usually pick a subject to start with, and we discuss that and usually just see where the conversation takes us after that. So today, before we actually jump into the subject of today's bite-sized, I do want to acknowledge, because I know us, and I know that it would be very us to release our 100th episode without realizing that it's number 100. So I just want to acknowledge this ahead of time, that this will most likely be, I think, number 97? So just in case we forget, let's just acknowledge that we've preemptively acknowledged that we've made it to 100. Unless, the world ends in between number 97 and 100, in which case,
I mean, the rate that it's going...
What's going to be our 100th episode?
I don't know. I mean, I was thinking, let's just do it ahead of time, because we'll probably just release, some random-ass podcast as number 100 and then not even realize it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. If you guys want to plan something for that, I mean, we can, but otherwise, yay, congrats to...
No, I think we should celebrate our 100.
I mean, what?
I don't know.
Exactly.
We'll think of something.
Anyways, so today's topic is about spilling a little bit of tea. And so I came prepared.
Oh, I did too. We all came with tea.
With tea.
Wait, what tea are we spilling?
I mean, it's unpopular opinions.
Oh, okay.
It's literally our tea. It's not that exciting.
Yeah, it's our tea. Our own tea. Our tea with the community. I mean, who knows? I might have a couple things on my list that may or may not anger some people. I'm just saying. Okay. So, maybe some tea will be spilled. But yeah, so that's today's topic. Hot takes, unpopular opinions about books, romance, etc., etc. So, who wants to start? I mean, how many things do you guys have? Because I have got a long list, turns out.
How? I was struggling, to be honest.
I just kept adding stuff. I was like, you know what? And this thing, and this thing, and this thing.
6, 7-ish.
Oh, that's good. I mean, yeah, that's a long list.
Yeah, my list isn't this long this time. Possible 3.
Okay. 3? Jeez, you don't have a whole lot of beef with this community. I mean, we told ourselves, unpopular opinions have to be something that, genuinely we think most people would disagree with, right? Because, a lot of the times, it's oh, my unpopular thing is, and then it's something that, literally everyone agrees with, and it's literally just someone saying that for the sake of, getting clicks or whatnot, or getting people to be oh my god, me too. So, who wants to start? Who wants to be controversial first?
I feel like you have the longest list, so let's start with yours. I want to know.
Yeah.
Are we doing one each? One at a time?
Yeah. Unless there's 2 you can pair together. The other thing is, we're not bitches.
Well.
So, okay, well, actually, I need to do 2 PSAs. Well, 1. Don't take it personally, okay? If it's something you love and that you disagree with, this is not an attack on you personally, okay? It is our own opinions, and we are gonna try and justify, right? Like, if you say, I don't like this, you gotta explain at least why you don't like that, right? Okay.
Sounds fair.
So, personal opinions only. Don't feel attacked. If you disagree or you feel like you're feeling some kind of anger within yourself while listening to us, please click out.
I feel like this is going to turn into another therapy session, so.
I'm putting on my, like, therapist voice. Click
What
out.
if we have issues with our own hot takes?
I mean, that's cool, too. We can deal with that. Therapy sessions for real.
Fight!
Okay, so you want me to start?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
I'm gonna start easy. I kind of did it in like a gradient type thing. So it's like it starts off being like easier stuff that I'm like, nobody's gonna be mad at this really, and then I move towards things that I'm like, maybe some people are gonna find an issue with this. Okay.
All right.
So starting off easy, my first unpopular opinion, or at least I think this is unpopular. I'm not sure. Maybe you guys will agree. We don't give a fuck about your title reveal.
Fair.
Yeah.
Agreed.
We don't give a fuck. That is so 2016 to me. Like, I can't believe that I sometimes am scrolling through social media and there's still authors that are like, title reveal on Monday. And then there's a bunch of readers in the comments like, oh my God. And then, like, they still call their fucking books like LFBTY. And I'm like, I don't care. Just tell me your fucking title. It is not 2016 anymore. We've moved past this.
Agreed.
Have we not?
I only care about the title reveal if it's followed by the blurb. I only really care about the blurb. Like the blurb reveal?
I don't even read blurbs.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe that's another hot take.
Really?
I mean, it's not a hot take. It's just like a practice. I do not read blurbs. I don't care about blurbs. Do you want me to? Okay, let's join this with the title. I do not care about blurbs. I only care about a list of tropes. Give me a list of tropes. I don't need to know the setup. I'll read it. I'll read the book. I don't need the setup. Just tell me tropes.
Vibes. I need vibes.
Okay.
Vibes. Yeah.
I need
Yeah.
collage. I love a collage.
Yeah.
Okay. I like the blurb, but no, I'm with the tropes and the vibes as well. I like those.
But you do read blurbs.
No, I do read blurbs though.
I would like look at like the very bottom of like the blurb to see like
Yeah.
not a warning, but like the tropes
Yeah,
and all that.
that little
If
paragraph
it's like
at the end.
reverse harem.
Like enemies to lovers, reverse harem with love. Yeah, I read that. That's the part that I read too. Also, I mean, let me add this, which was not part of my list, but if your blurb is longer than 2 paragraphs, you are not doing blurbs right,
No,
okay?
I'm not reading
Sometimes
that.
I'd be clicking. I'm not reading, but I'd be clicking, and I'm like, this blurb has got 6 fucking paragraphs. Do you think I'm reading an essay right now?
It has a beginning, middle, and end with like 3 body paragraphs.
Like, who got time for that?
Hey, Marge.
She's very passionate about this.
One take into the episode, I'm already fired up. But like for real, 2 max. 2 and then that tiny little paragraph at the end that tells you the tropes. Please, that's it. Anyway, moving on to someone else before I keep adding to this.
Okay. I can go next. I think I probably did this a bit wrong, but it's okay. So another hot take, well, my first hot take is, I actually prefer standalone series. Like
Yes.
I don't like it when a series has like 8 books that follow the same couple. I just can't do it. It loses my interest.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
And like book 1.5 maybe.
It takes a very, very, very special author and a very, very, very special story and
Agreed.
set of characters to make me care for that
yeah.
long.
I agree with that.
Oof,
for sure.
I really struggle with that too.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm currently reading a 4-book series about the same people. So. But like I said, very special book, very special author. Like standalones for like series of standalones are the best.
Yeah, agreed. And
the best.
I'm okay. Okay, it's different. So like you said, it depends on the writer and the however the story is built up. But I cannot start a series if it's like 8 books in that's already been published and it follows the same couple. Like I will not pick it up. But if it's a series that like is starting, maybe like there's a book out with the same couple and I know more are coming, I feel like I'm more okay with trying that one out versus an established series.
Yeah, agreed. Also, I do think it depends on the genre, the subgenre, right? Because if you're reading like fantasy romance, then usually those are like same people for a couple books, and then the expectations when you pick up those books is very different to me anyway. Like I go into those because I'm seeking this kind of like story that spans over multiple books and like following the same people. Though I will say there are more and more fantasy romance series that are those like series of standalones where it's like different either different tropes or different retellings, and I find those very interesting. So
yeah. What are your thoughts on that hot take?
No, I agree with everything you girls said. I agree.
Can I piggyback off of yours? Because S has only 3, so, you know.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
My next hot take was that I actually think that multi-author series are great. And I know that's great. I love them. I get excited about them.
Do you mean like the short novellas?
The kind of series where it's like 8 books, but the 8 books are written each by different people. But like there's but not the ones that share a world. I mean the ones where it's like a bunch of authors get together and they're like, okay, we're all gonna write dark retellings, and so each author picks a different dark retelling and does their own story, or we're all gonna pick a trope and it's like, or a setup, and then each book has the same setup but different stories, different written by different people. And the reason why I love them so much is because I'm just very excited about them most of the time, but B, they make you discover new people.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
And usually they're shorter-ish books, you know, like 200 and something pages. So it's like a very good amount of pages to sort of like dip your toes into someone else's writing that you've never tried before. And I just think that they're very exciting and fun. So that's my hot take, because I know that there's a lot of people that do not like this type of series. Like they don't want multi-author series at all. So, yeah.
I'm going to piggyback off of that one and just say... anthologies, I don't know, I can't. Sorry, yes, is that one of yours?
No, so I want to ask a question about anthologies.
Okay,
but go ahead, finish.
Okay, no, my hot take is that anthologies and me, I can never get them done. I'm sorry, I've tried. They're too much. It's too daunting.
Okay, so how do you girls feel about okay, you already said that you don't like that, but like in the sense of like the anthology, Marge, how do you feel about that? It's kind of the same thing. It's just, you know, shorter.
And more, like, it's compact. Right. It's literally the same thing.
Well, no, because I love the achievement of, like, when it's separate, I like the achievement of saying, I read that book, and then I can move on. If you're reading an anthology, it just feels like you literally, like, barely chipped away at the fucking anthology because it's, like, 1,000 fucking pages long. It feels like nothing. I don't get that satisfaction. And then I feel like I either need to keep going right away or don't start at all. Because, whereas when it's little books like that, I can pick one at one point and then I can pick another. Like, I don't have that, like, sense of I'm, like, committing to it, really.
Yeah.
You know?
That makes sense.
I agree with that. I honestly feel like I'm racing the clock when I'm reading an anthology, like my own clock for some reason. But if it's standalone little novellas or, like, books that were in an anthology, I would read them. Like, I've read one recently.
You are racing the clock, and you know what? Why? And this is another reason why I don't like the anthology as opposed to the multi-author series, is because oftentimes you are running against the clock because they will take it off. Like, they will take it out of Amazon and then republish it. So when it's multi-author series, they don't do that. They just leave the book because it's under their name on their own page as a single standalone thing. So they don't need to do that. So I don't like this about anthology because you like feel the like urgency of having to read it right now, but it's like so long and daunting.
Yeah.
And again, might as well just slide this one in. Like, if your anthology is longer than 500 pages, please. Like, come on. Who got time for this? Like, do you need to be 12 fucking authors in this anthology if it's going to be in one book? The bigger is not the better in this case, I gotta say. Okay, size does matter in this case. Okay, I do not want your 1,000 pages book. Okay.
As, what are your thoughts on anthologies?
I really don't care for them. I mean, I have discovered some new authors like in anthologies, which is pretty great, but I won't go looking for anthologies. I'm not crazy about them.
I will say the one that we read for the podcast, though, I really did enjoy because I felt like I found a lot of authors in that one, and it also didn't feel that long.
It wasn't. I think it was like 600 pages, or it might have been 700. But I want to like them. I have a love-hate relationship with them. Like, I want to like them. And if only these authors were, like, doing the exact same thing, but just publishing their own story separately, I would be all over that shit in a heartbeat. I'd be like, you're telling me I can read 3 books like, just in one night because it's, like, short little stories? Yeah, I will.
But I think the main reason why, at least for the most part, authors do anthologies is to raise money for charities, right?
Sometimes.
At least that's what I see a lot of.
But yeah.
Yeah, not always, but I also feel like you also get a better bang for your buck with anthologies, right? They're usually like 99 cents, or sometimes they're like $3.99, $4.99, versus like buying separate, like, I don't know, like 10 separate books. They're not always included in Kindle Unlimited, right?
So that's that, I guess.
I love when we kind of like took back our hot take, but not really. It's like, here's the other side of it, though.
I mean, I still will not be reading your anthology. I will probably get a sample of it and then,
That's
like,
fair.
think in my head, like, oh, yeah, I will read this one for once, and then never read it. Because that's just the forever cycle that happens.
All right. As, do you want to say one of your hot takes?
Yes. Okay. It might be a little controversial.
Ooh.
Oh,
God. It's okay to rate a book you DNF'd.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I kind of agree with that.
Good one, S. Good one.
That is a very good
That's
one.
going to anger some people.
What do you think, Marge? Seff agrees, but do you, or you're just...
I don't disagree, but I don't do it. If I DNF a book, I leave the rating thing blank. And usually I write in the review section, like, why it didn't do it for me.
Is it always like that for you?
I wouldn't say it has always been like that. I think I used to rate them 1 star, but I stopped. I'm not sure why. I mean, my average rating is low enough. I feel like that, honestly. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything against it. It's not something that, like, infuriates me. I know some people are, like, real mad online about this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, it depends on how far I get in the book. Like, if it's just like a chapter in and I just decide I don't really care for it, I wouldn't read it. But if I get, like, say, I don't know, how many percent, like, that made no sense. How much further in, like, say if I get, like, 20% in, or whatever. It doesn't matter. If I get further in, I'm more rating my experience at that point up until that point of the story that I've read.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm the same. I don't rate every DNF, but if it makes me feel some type of way, I will rate it.
Is a DNF a 1 star, or could it still be a DNF at, like, 3 stars?
Oh, no. It'll be 1 star for me. Because there's a reason why I wouldn't have finished it.
1 or 2.
What do you say, S? 1 or 2?
1 or 2. Yeah, because if it's a 3 star for, like, a 20% DNF, like, I'm going to go back to it. Like, there's no point.
Yeah.
I'll just stop it right now, and then I'll go back to it.
I think it's also because I haven't been DNFing the past couple years. Like, I usually skim to the end, you know? And then probably, like, give it 2 stars. So, like, it's kind of the equivalent, really. But I guess, okay, so my question then on that is, there are some people that will read something that they know is not for them, and then they start reading the thing, and then they're like, this is offending me to the deepest parts of my soul, and then DNF that shit and be like, I knew that this was gonna be the book, but you're a fucking evil bitch for putting it in. How do we feel about those people then? Like, should they be rating the book?
They just love wasting their time. No.
They love wasting their time, and I feel like it's more like I
True.
should read at that point, and they're just trying to, you know, I guess, play devil's advocate, but also there are some people that actually are trying to, you know, branch out and try something new, and like maybe it might not work for them. But I feel like in those cases, I don't see why you would give something a low rating just because it's not something that you necessarily agree with, or I don't know, it's controversial for you. But yeah, that's what I feel.
Okay, I have another question.
Okay.
If you're okay, I've noticed that personally, when I really love a book, my review tends to be about 3 lines at most, and it's basically just me saying, I loved it. Can't wait for the next one. If I disliked the book,
for the past
there's
years.
like a couple paragraphs. And the reason for that is I'm not being a bitch. I feel like I just need to explain why I didn't like it. And that's the reason why it's longer. Whereas if I loved it, I'm just like, great, moving on to the next. Like, right? But there's issues with that, because authors are like, well, if you have a negative review, you just shouldn't review at all. You know, if you don't have anything nice to say, you shouldn't say it. Well,
another hot take, but not really. I feel like it's common sense. Authors should not be reading reviews.
Oh yeah, no,
they should not be on Goodreads. Like, I love you authors, and I know you also are readers, so, like, that's fair. Do whatever you need to do with your books. Rate them, review them, whatever books. But I don't think they should be going out of their way to read reviews if they're bad or good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, do you want my next one?
Yep, you go next.
I strongly believe that the 3rd act breakup is, in fact, actually quite great. I love it. Don't get rid of it. And books without it are kind of boring.
That was on my list too.
Oh, yes. High five me through the screen.
But is it the same or is it the opposite?
No, mine is 3rd act breakup. I like. That's all I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it also, okay, if it's based off like miscommunication, I kind of have a little like, I don't like it. But if it's like an actual conflict that they cannot overcome at that point, I'm all game for it. I feel like it creates like that angst and like, you know, the emotions. You feel it. You feel it a lot more in that 3rd act breakup.
I like it anyway. Stupid breakup, like it. Confusing breakup, like it. Dark breakup, like it. I like them. I just like for that moment where they're apart. What can I say? I do not care. And I think I don't care about the plot. I oftentimes do not care about the like external plot in like a romance novel. So like I think for me,
like, what do you mean, like the plot outside of the romance?
Yeah. Like, if there's a plot, I probably don't care. So for me, if your 3rd act thing that happens, you know, the big, like, climax of the book is based on external circumstances that relate to the plot, I'm not interested. Have them break up. I want tears. I want drama. I want miscommunication. That's another one. I think miscommunication is a great trope. I love it. Can't lie. I do.
I agree. Yeah.
All right. Well,
we agree on that one. Great.
On
one thing, we've agreed on everything thus far.
We actually have. We've been good.
I mean, we are friends for a reason, I feel like. Like, for me, I'm not scared about sharing any of these with you, because I know that both of you will, like, totally understand where I'm coming from. It's other people.
To be quite honest, I think I have 2 things on my list that you will not agree with. I know it for a fact.
Ooh. I think I have 1.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. I'm interested now.
Okay, fine. I'll maybe 3 actually. I'll do 1. Okay, this one's like the least controversial, I think. Okay. I actually don't mind love triangles.
Oh, I don't mind them either.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought like Marge, you hated them.
No, I don't mind them.
Okay, yeah, I actually.
When they make sense, you know, when like both love interests make sense.
When they make sense and my couple wins in the end.
No, I'm here for that.
Okay.
Well, that's great. If anybody has some recs, you know, send them over.
No, yeah, S has stated multiple times that she really likes love triangles. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't like seek them out.
Right.
But if it's there in something that I'm already enjoying and it just so happens that it becomes a love triangle, I'm like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But now, more often than not, sorry. Well, I was saying now, more often than not, I'm like, but why can't they have both?
Right.
I'm starting to
Exactly.
get to that headspace where I'm like, why must this be a
Why
difficult
choose?
decision when it
Welcome,
why,
Marge.
I don't know.
Welcome.
I know so much. I've made so much progress on
I love it.
myself. I'm glad we can acknowledge that.
Yeah.
But if it's a book where it's a monogamous couple,
Yeah.
I like that the jealousy that it provides, you know? It gives us good jealousy content for whoever they end up with.
Oh, I do have a hot take on that, which it was not, again, part of my list. I'm discovering new hot takes. In a polyamorous relationship, I find it a bit awkward when two or more people are already in an established relationship and then there's that other person that joins in, because I just can't kind of put it in my head that that person is as loved as the others because the others have been together for longer. You know what I mean? Like the emotional depth between the people that were already together. I'm specifically thinking like I see a lot of like say MMM books where like two guys were already together and then a third one comes in and I'm like, but the two were already together for several years and have developed a very deep, strong connection with each other. And it's like I can never take it out of my brain that like the new person is like, yes, they're loved, but are they loved as deeply as the other one? Like, is the intimacy as developed and as strong? I just don't know, you know?
That's a good
I would
one.
rather they all meet at the same time. Like, nobody knows anyone. Like, it's all new for everyone, you know? It's just like a weird thing that happens when that's not the case for me.
I feel like you've read books where that was kind of the case, where they already established relationships prior
Those
to
pack
one
books,
of the
right?
characters.
The pack books
Pack
where there's
Darling.
already an Omega and then there's someone else that arrives.
Yeah, but I feel like it depends how it's written. It depends how the author develops those relationships. Because so there's an example of one where so it's a bunch of guys, they meet their girl and then they develop something and it's going great, and then one guy leaves. He leaves or he does something happens, he leaves and he meets someone else and he brings that person into the group without talking to his people about it. I feel like that was an issue for me.
Yeah, that's rude.
Like, was it really necessary to bring someone else when you're barely developing something with someone?
Oh, that's
you get me?
so that's the the complete other side of that reality. It's like, what if your relationship is already shitty and you're not working on that, but then you're bringing someone else in and making it even more shitty, or shitty with someone else? Like, focus on what you had.
And also not communicating that. That's a big red flag. Like, not communicating, like, bringing in a new person. And also...
Yeah, no, this person just found someone. I like you. I kissed you. Let me bring you back to my pack. I'm just like, no. Hold on.
Yeah. Fix yourself. Fix your relationships first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't even think about like the other side of that. True. Okay. Agreed. Do you want me to say another one and then we'll go to S?
Sure.
Go for it.
I'm still in my very tame ones. Okay.
I'm scared.
Planned dates in books are actually kind of boring.
Agreed. I actually agree with that one.
Wait, elaborate.
Like
What do you mean?
if they plan in the book, oh, we'll go on Saturday there and then we'll spend the day together, and then you actually read the date, could not care less. I find them really boring. I like being impulsive. Like, just, oh, they sort of like stumble into a date, but it wasn't supposed to be a date. But if it's actually planned, like we'll meet Saturday to go to the movies or whatever, fucking boring. I don't care. I do not want to read about their little like dinner date or ice skating date or whatever the fuck. I don't care. I find it very boring.
Does it matter if how developed the relationship is in the book?
No, hate it at any point of that relationship. I just don't care. I don't know.
I agree with that in the sense where I like the spontaneous dates, like, oh, we're hungry, let's go stop for dinner. I like all of that. But now I'm thinking about like marriage of convenience or arranged marriage stories where like they reach to that point where they want to like get to know each other, and I'm okay with like them planning like, dinner at home, or like going to not the movies, going out, planning a date. Like, I'm okay with that for them getting to know each other and like establishing that connection. I find like in marriage and convenience stories.
Yeah, but I guess like I don't know why I wonder if it's maybe because like I find it more romantic. Maybe I don't know. I'm like analyzing myself live, but like I don't know if it's because maybe I find it more romantic, the idea of someone already having something going on in their day and like choosing to instead like say fuck with all of that. I'm actually gonna spend time with you, as opposed to being like, oh, we planned this, so like we were both already gonna be there. I don't know. But also there's just something boring about like reading about a date. I don't know what it is. I just don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I also find first dates are like planned dates where way in advance.
Yeah.
What's going to happen, when it's going to happen is kind of like, it gives me anxiety. So like I think maybe that's why I like the spontaneous dates where it's kind of like it falls into place and you kind of don't realize it's a date until like you're on said date.
Yeah.
I can see that. And that's what I agree with.
I don't know if I've read any books lately about dates, because like that doesn't.
You've read a book before where it was like, oh, do you want to?
Yeah,
like,
I'm pretty sure,
this?
But like I guess it's not an issue. I don't think I've ever come across an issue like, oh my god, dates, you know.
And like moreover, if nothing actually happens during the date, like if nothing like important is said or done, I don't need to read it. You can just like skip forward to like the end of the date when he's like bringing her back to her house or whatnot, and like they kiss under the moonlight or what. I'd like give me the important stuff. I don't need to be reading about them sitting in front of each other eating spaghetti, you know?
But what in case something happens on the date? You never know.
Well, if something happens on the date while they're eating their spaghetti, then yes, I will read it. But like if it's not really anything, crazy, then I don't know. Like the same thing could probably be said in I don't know. Okay, I just love impulsivity, just like the romance, the like I'm so crazy about you that like we need to do something right now, to hell with my plans or whatnot.
Okay. I can agree.
Okay.
Because I'm thinking about like a book that I read. There was a date, and I'm just like, eh.
See? It's not exciting.
But it was just that book, though. I don't know if it's all the time.
Okay, this is not a hot take. This is just a question. How do you feel about characters? Because this happened. I forgot what book it was. I mean, I've read a few, actually. I don't know why I sound like such a loser right now. But anyways, I read a few books where, like, they started off with, like, they're fuck buddies or friends with benefits. But then, like, they kind of want to establish a relationship. And, like, they plan dates. Like, how do you feel about that? Like, when not the intimacy, but, like, the sex has already, like, happened and, like, they've overcome that. And then now they want to see what else they have.
I think that's good.
Or like one of them wants more than the other. Like, how do you feel about like, those types of dates?
I think I would probably still dislike it.
Okay.
Because I can even relate this because like I've been reading a lot of BDSM, like kind of the same for like when they plan a scene ahead of time rather than just like falling into it.
Then doing it. Okay.
There's like the like, oh, it's coming type thing that I'm not sure I like. I mean, pun not intended, but
okay, like you putting it like that, like, okay.
Like I don't like the idea of like, okay, and this we're gonna go there and we're gonna do this and you're gonna act this way and I'm gonna act this way and I'm like, let's just fall into it. Let's just naturally see where it takes us, where the night takes us,
Let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Okay. My next one. It's okay to break your spines from your books.
Oh, yeah. It is more than okay.
Break the spine, highlight it, dog ear it. With the exception of like some special editions, because there's some books where I won't do that. But
I'm going to be the opposer here. I cannot do that. I take care of my books. I don't let anyone borrow them. My own sister, I don't let her borrow them. It's just...
Oh, yeah, see, no, we don't borrow here.
Other people can't bend the spine of your book, but you can bend the spine of your own book.
I can break the spine. Yes.
Yeah.
I do, like, I literally am that person that, like, opens up the book so like it doesn't break the spine.
Okay. I actually have another hot take. Several, actually, that can tie back to that.
Oh gosh, okay.
First off, I don't think anyone needs multiple copies of the same book.
Shut up!
I don't think you need to collect multiple copies of the same book. I would even go as far as to say I kind of regret buying every single physical copy of a book that I've ever bought. Because what are they doing? They're just sitting on a shelf collecting dust.
I disagree.
I'm an ebook reader, okay? Through and through. I've tried the whole physical book thing, collecting books, but I ain't got no money to spend on physical copies of books. And so when I see people with like 8 fucking versions of the same book, I'm like, for what? For what?
Yeah. I kind of agree with that, but I do buy my books. Like I need to have a finished series, so like I would just buy them. And I still enjoy reading like the odd physical book. But I will say I don't really, if I'm aiming to buy a collector's edition, I will not buy like the regular edition. Like that's like case in point with Gothicana. I had to get my hands on like the collector's edition, and I did, and that was the only copy that I bought. Yes.
Yeah, no, I don't agree. I have multiple copies of the books that I really, really love. So
How many copies of one book do you have?
I have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I have 3 copies.
Wow.
I have 2 copies of The Opportunist. I have 3 copies of Daisy Jones and the Six.
But why do you need multiple copies as?
Because I need it.
Is one like one that you open and read, and then one's just like on the shelf? Or are they all like different collector's editions?
No, one of them is for sure like to pick up and read.
Okay.
And the other one's just collect.
Dust. The other one is just collect ... dust.
I dust my shelves, Marge. Thank you very much.
She dusts her book, actually.
There's another hot take that I can kind of like tie into this. Sort of. I don't give a fuck about signed books or swag.
Really?
Could not care less.
I love it. I will take any swag you want to give me, any signed copy.
I mean, just look at your background.
Yeah.
It's full of swag and like books and just everything. Yeah, no, I can't deal with that.
S, what are your thoughts?
I feel like 2015-16 Stephanie was into all that.
Yeah.
Now I don't really care. Unless I care about getting signed books of like books that I really, really love. I don't care for going to signings anymore.
But also like we need to make there's a difference between fan art, like beautiful fan art, like what you have behind you, the Raylo art, and like when I mean swag, I mean like coasters and mugs with like your author logo or like
yeah,
I like the pen.
I will take a pen actually.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I am that person. I guess I'm still like a 16-year-old. I don't know, but
No, you're allowed. You're entitled to like this shit.
I want
That's fine.
the swag. I
Good for
literally
you.
almost dropped $135 US for Runix's like box.
Holy shit.
But thank the Lord, it was sold out by the time I tried to buy it, so I just got the hardcover. Like I almost like threw away over $200 Canadian.
Wow.
Because I'm that like obsessed with swag.
Seff, I would have stopped you had I known. I would have stopped
That's
you.
why I didn't tell you.
Jeez. I will never forget that pen that you bought on Amazon for $40 and you used it once.
To write your Christmas cards.
I love that, Seff. Don't change.
It was a very special Christmas card.
You know what? This year, guys, you're going to get a Christmas card with those pens.
Oh, God.
That is funny. Okay, question.
Yeah.
Mainly for Seff, since you don't care for signatures.
See ya.
Do you care if the book is personally signed or like stamped? Like, is that an issue for you?
Okay, so if it's a signing, like if I'm going to a signing, I would prefer it be like, it's personalized and signed. To be quite honest, like I wouldn't actually buy a stamped like book. If it's like something online that I know like I'm It's going to be shipped because it's also, I'm going to have to pay shipping to Canada, right? So it's going to be a lot more money anyway. So I don't necessarily look for the stamped versions, just like the signed versions. And if it's possible to get my name signed in there, then that's great. But, I mean, I don't care for the stamps.
Yeah, I probably just don't care for it, but yeah, like if I'm gonna go to a signing, like I want to see like the author, you know, sign and. But I mean, I will buy books that are stamped. Like I wouldn't mind.
Would you? So, like for example, we know Tahara Mafi for her. Was it This Woven Kingdom? She like had signed copies everywhere. But we never actually like it wasn't personalized or anything. It was just her signing them and like selling them in the store. Like, how do you feel about that one? Like, would you go out of your way to buy it?
Yeah, I think I bought it. I don't even know if mine has.
I bought it too, but I mean, and it was just the only one. Like, it was either that or the regular version. I was like, I'll just get this signed one. It's the same price.
Oh, it was the only one that was sold at my store.
The signed one.
Ooh.
Oh. It's all her swag.
It's the swag from 2016. The ghost of 2016 is mad. See, this is what happens when you have swag. It just falls. That's its only purpose. It will just collect dust and then fall. And then you'll replace it.
To be quite honest, I love my Reese and Feyre bookends.
What the fuck kind of... What?
They're doing great work behind me. I mean, behind you guys.
Wow.
Hot take, I don't like bookends.
Hot take, I don't like you.
Hot take, I hate you guys.
This is great.
This is gonna end friendships.
What do you have against bookends? Like, what? Why? What's the matter with them?
I got it with, was it Fake Crate when I did, like, when I bought that box? So it was just in there, so. I don't necessarily use bookends, though. Like, they're just there.
Why? It's collecting dust. At least use it for the books back there.
I could, but to be honest, it's like bookending my name.
Wait, it's not bookending anything? It's just there.
It's bookending my name. What am I gonna put there?
What do you mean your name? I don't get it.
Let me send you guys a picture. This is just lame. 1 second. To be quite honest, it's because my desk really doesn't have space. So I was like, my friend made me that once I got my job. And then I was like, oh, so I'm going to keep that, like my name thing. And then I had the bookends. And then I was like, oh, let me just put that there too because I need to find a spot for them.
Oh, okay. That's cute.
But your name still doesn't need a bookend, Seff. It's in a box.
Can you shut up
your name
and move
is
on
in
to
a
the
box.
next one?
Your name is in a box. The box does not need a bookend.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, good. Okay. Seff, what's your next hot take?
You know what? I'm going to get you guys mad.
Oh, shit.
Pulling out my pitchfork. Okay, I'm ready.
I actually don't enjoy listening to audiobooks, okay? I would prefer just, like, reading the book. Because I can't focus. If I listen to an audiobook, I can never focus.
That's your opinion, Seff.
You're entitled to it.
That's fine. I love me an audiobook.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. That's you. That's on you. That's your own
Yeah.
experience. What do you want me to do with that? You're the one missing out.
I hate you, Seff. You don't like audiobooks. I can't believe you. I am so
personally
offended.
attacked right now. I mean, not all audiobooks are equal, okay?
Yeah.
Some of them are real shitty. I can maybe add on to this that I do not like dual narrators.
Really?
Don't like it. Would rather just have one voice do everything. I find it very distracting because the voice changes. So like the guy, when it's the guy's POV, will do the voice for the woman. Say it's an MF book, obviously. And then so he has his interpretation of her voice, but then when it's the girl's POV, she has her own voice and then is doing her interpretation of his voice. And so nobody ever has a fucking concrete voice in my head, and I don't like that. So I would rather it's just one person that makes both voices. And that's that.
What are your thoughts on the books that have like sound effects and all that? Because I know Sarah J. Maas, like A Court of Thorns and Roses, was re-released with all the sound effects and all of that, and the accents.
If it's there, it's there. If it's not there, it's not there.
So if you're starting a book for the first time, would you go for that version or would you go for the regular, just reading the book?
I'd sample both and see what I would like
you
to
sample
hear,
audiobooks?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I have to sample before I buy an audiobook because
Oh, I would never buy an audiobook. Is that a hot take?
ooh.
I am reading through the library. I am not paying $8 for an audiobook.
Wait, do you buy your audiobooks?
If I'm out of a credit, yeah, I do.
Okay.
Because I'm able to get through Kindle Unlimited. If they have an audiobook, you get it cheaper, like $7.
Yeah, we don't get that.
So
here.
so I don't hurt. Oh, you guys don't have that?
There's so many things we don't get
I'm
here.
sorry. So if you borrow a book from Kindle Unlimited, you don't get the audiobook cheaper?
No.
The Whisper Sync thing? I'm so sad.
Yeah, we have no such thing.
It comes out cheaper like that. I won't buy a $30
well, we don't
audiobook.
have it, all right? Move on.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Stop making us feel bad, okay? We don't have coupons. We don't have Kindle Vella. We don't have any of that shit,
That
okay?
makes me sad for you guys.
None. I know, like, even you guys have, like, little challenges on Kindle, right? Where, like, it's, you read 4 books and then you get, like, this discount. We don't fucking get that, okay? I am paying full price.
You guys get
Wait,
that?
I don't get no discount.
They have that. Yeah, they have little challenges.
And
on
I see
Kindle.
the point system. What the hell is that?
Well, that's that. We don't have that.
We don't have
I don't know
that.
what that is. I don't know
You
what the
get
point system
points?
is.
They have points and shit. And then they can buy books at, like, discounts or, like, for free.
Y'all are privileged and you don't even know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Acknowledge
want a
your privilege
discount.
right now, S. I want you to look
I
us
don't
in the
know about
eyes.
the discount.
Look us in the eyes and tell us you're sorry.
She's not Canadian.
I can't. I like my discounted audiobooks.
Damn. So yeah, I would never buy an audiobook. But okay, so you got, well, I mean, if you're buying, then yeah, sure,
Yeah.
sample that.
No,
'Cause-
so if I'm buying, like, I need to sample
Yeah.
the voices, because if I'm not gonna listen through an audiobook if I hate the guy's voice or the girl's voice.
yeah, for sure.
Crazy.
Okay. My next one. Okay, so I've done a lot of soul searching.
Okay.
I've tried many things. And I think I've come to the conclusion that orcs are not for me.
Oh.
I want to love them, but I have literally yet to read an orc book that I really truly liked. Like a book that I really liked, you know? Like
Right.
some of them were like, okay. But like it's never anything more than okay for me. Like I don't know what it is, but the orc is just not the creature for me. Something is not working for me.
The
on that
copious
front.
comes not working.
I love that. Give that to literally anything else. But the orc, I don't know what is going on, but I just cannot connect.
To be quite honest, the only one that I really, really enjoyed was the Lady and the Orc. Finley
I
Fen.
tried that, and so many
know.
people love that, and like I want to love it because like everybody says that there's so much angst and blah blah blah. I don't know. It's just not doing it for me.
That's fair. Do you think it's the way that they're written? Like the way that the orcs are written? They're always written as like a lesser being, and
They're
no one
they're
really
usually not that
likes
different
them.
from aliens in how they're written. Really, when you think about it, it's just like
No, but I feel like every orc book I read, they're usually written as like something dirty or like disgusting or something that you don't want to be around.
it's not the appearance. It has nothing to do with the appearance of the orc.
I know why Seff loves them so much.
What?
Why?
Shrek.
And
It
that's
clicked.
why
It
Em
makes
does
sense.
not like it. That's what she
I
doesn't
like
like.
Shrek. What are you talking about?
Every time we send you a video, you're like scarred for life. So I think we've solved it. Thank you, S. You have solved it.
Shrek is love. Shrek is life. What are you talking about? Shrek is love. Shrek is life.
Thanks for solving that, S. You've solved it. You've cracked the case.
Anyway, this is one of those hot takes where it's like I don't really know why. It's just I've tried so many times and it just hasn't happened. So I'm just gonna take that as meaning it's not for me for some reason. Haven't found the one.
To be quite honest, to quote my dad from yesterday, there are plenty fish in the sea. Throw it back if you don't like it. There's another one waiting for you.
What if you picked the same one twice?
I'll get back to you on that one. I'll ask my dad.
What if you picked a big fish and then you end up with a little fish? What if you picked a big fish and then you wait for hours and nothing else takes?
We need these answers, Seff.
Okay, I'll go ask him.
We need a session with Papa Seff. As thoughts on orcs? Any thoughts on orcs?
I mean,
right?
I don't care. I don't think it's a monster I would like go searching for, and then and I DNF Lady of the Orc, so
see, okay, so you're on my side then. We feel the same about the orc. We're just gonna like, nah, it's there. I'm not gonna.
And you know what? And I hate the way. I agree with Seff. The way the female in that book
described him.
She was like disgusted by him, and I'm just like, why?
To be quite honest, I encounter that a lot in orc books. Like, I don't know why that's like the mentality towards orcs. I don't know. I've never thought of it in that way.
Okay, can I say another one that kind of is related to that? I guess. Okay, this is a serious one.
Okay.
No, for real, it is. And this is one I know you guys are gonna agree with. Monsters, or I should say, monsters are becoming way too human, and they are not doing it for me as much as they used to.
Agreed. I think they became too mainstream to the point now where like you have to play it safe. Or you feel the need that you have to play it safe, and that just results in monsters that are too human for me.
They are feeling more and more like just humans wearing costumes to me. And I've explained this in a tweet once. I was like, there's two sides to monster romance. There's the side where it's like the funky dicks and the crazy appearance and blah, 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 and all the excitement that comes with that. And I feel like monster romance in the past couple years has really focused on that side of things and really gone wild with it, which is like great, nice, fun. But the other side of monster romance has really become been, I don't know, pushed to like the shadows or whatnot. And that's the part where monster romance is exciting because it's scary. It's like the fear of this thing that has no moral compass that relates to your own, this thing that haunts you, this thing that terrifies you. It's the fear aspect of it. They're like, oh my god, this thing doesn't understand me, or wants certain things from me that are scaring me or whatnot. You know what I mean? Like the like horror aspect of it, almost like the fear. That side of the excitement has been completely erased from monster romance. And like, I mean, let's not, of course, some people are still writing that. Okay, I am acknowledging that some people are still writing that, but the point is just to say it's becoming harder and harder to find those people that are still doing that, because there's like an overwhelming amount of monster romance that's sweet, soft, cinnamon roll, human-like creatures, and that's just not doing it for me.
That have the same moral compass as us, which realistically, no. Like, I know, obviously, it's not realistic what we want, but it's just like, monsters do not live by the same rules that we do. And like you said, like, we need more monster books that actually show that. And they're not just, like you said, monsters or humans in monster skin or whatever.
Yeah. Like, I like the idea of being chased, of being scared for my life in fiction. You know, I want to explore that in fiction. Like, why is it so hard to find this anymore? Which is why I think more and more we're kind of turning towards dark romance for that, where you don't get the like monster-like hero, but they are kind of more monstrous in so many regards than the monsters themselves.
I agree with that. I feel like I'm turning now more towards dark romance, where like I kind of like in the past few years I haven't really been, but I find that I'm reading a lot more because I'm still in search of that.
And I feel like some people won't agree that like monsters can also look like humans. Like for some people, the monster hero can only look like a monster. Well, I disagree with that because I think it's a psychological thing too. I don't think it should be solely just he looks like a monster, therefore he is a monster. It's like, no, there are characters that are specifically monster-like without actually looking like a monster. And I find it a little sad that oftentimes those heroes or heroines are written out of the equation altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy the monster romance that you enjoy, whatever that means to you, you know.
Agreed.
Seff, next one.
Okay, this one, I feel like you guys might unfriend me.
Ooh.
I don't know. I feel like we'll see. Okay. If a book I haven't read yet before, that made no sense. Let me restart this.
Sorry, your sentence did not make sense, yeah.
No, it didn't. If a book I haven't read before gets a TV show or a movie,
Ooh.
I wouldn't read the book.
I probably wouldn't either.
Oh, okay.
It depends. I'm not pressed. I sometimes watch the TV series first, or the movie first, and then read the book.
Because to be quite honest, I feel like if I read it, like, for example, Daisy Jones and the Six, like, I haven't read it, and I did want to, but, like, at this point, I don't want to read it so close to the show's release, because I think it's coming out the 2nd or the 3rd of March.
Oh, wow.
I feel like I'd be comparing it too much to the book, and that way I wouldn't enjoy the show. And I really felt that with Bridgerton Season 2. I was comparing it nonstop with the show and the book, and so that way I didn't enjoy it as much as I did initially, but then afterwards, of course I did. But yeah, I run into that problem.
For me, I wouldn't say it's a question of comparing. It's just, do I have time or do I don't, like, and also like sometimes it's also like, oh, I like the idea of this story, but maybe sometimes it lends itself more to a TV series or a movie to begin with. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, I want to see that, but I don't want to read that.
Okay.
So sometimes I'll like not read the thing that it's based on just because of that. Like I'm like, yeah, I want to watch that, but I'm not necessarily interested in the book. But yeah, it's not really about comparing for me personally. It's just, if I feel like it, I feel like it. If I don't, I don't. I don't push it.
I feel like I usually say like, oh yeah, I'm going to read the book before.
Yeah.
And then I don't. But that's usually because there's no time.
Okay.
But I feel like I like to read before watching. But more often I'll watch and then maybe we'll see if I'll end up reading.
Which one to do next? Okay.
Oh no.
This is 100% personal opinion. Nobody get mad, okay?
I feel like you're looking at me. Okay, let's
No,
hear it.
I'm not looking at either of you. I'm looking at the world. I don't like the idea of MF pegging and or femdom books. It's just not for me. I see a lot and more authors being like, "Oh, and she pegs him," and it's like a selling point, and I'm like, "Great, love that for everybody else," but for me, it's a no. It's a no.
I don't know about the pegging. I've never really thought about it or really explored it in books, but I'm okay with like exploring the back entrance with the man.
Okay, good for you,
guys.
Okay, Seff. Interesting. This took a turn. It's great. You want to talk about it?
She like exits the conversation and we never hear from her ever again.
Wait, did my sound kick out? Because I can't hear you guys.
Oh no, we can't hear you.
She did it on purpose.
Okay. We can't hear you.
Can I leave? Can you hear me?
Out.
Oh my God. I feel like I'm gonna cry.
The perfect moment to go mute. Oh my God.
That was great.
Yeah.
Why are you still laughing?
Because it was funny. And you had to go mute like right at that moment.
Oh gosh.
Okay, explain yourself.
Me?
Yeah. You're just gonna say that and then like drop out. Like,
I mean, in books, like I've read a few books. You know, what is this? feel like that was, explored, and I didn't mind it. But femdom, I don't think I would. It's something I would search out in my books.
We all listen. We all like the dynamics that we like.
Yeah.
Okay. We all have different kinks. Some kinks work for some people and they don't for others.
Fair.
Okay. And personally,
True.
just MF pegging is not one of them. Femdom is not one of them.
I don't think I've read anything where that was the dynamic, but I mean, I wouldn't knock it. I mean,
Yeah, no, definitely, like, don't knock it till you try it, but, like,
yeah.
if you try it and you don't like it, that's fine,
Yeah.
like, I think it's okay to say, like, oh, I'm noticing that it's becoming more and more of a trend, and personally, it just doesn't do it for me. It's not a selling point. It's not something that I'm gonna go, oh, yeah, I am getting that book the day it comes out,
I don't think I would mind it. I mean, I'd read it.
S, you want to share your last one, then? I still have so many, guys.
Like, okay, let me just say, I understand why people do this. I understand. I get it. I know. But why do you need to read the ending of a book before starting?
Oh.
I understand. I know why people do it. I personally would rather not have anything spoiled and enjoy the ride. But I think it's because I don't have many triggers. And if the book is triggering, like, I go look for what those triggers are and then base it, if to start it or not. And then, but I wouldn't read the ending.
Actually, S, this is a great place to remind our we're listeners, that the last oh my god, what is going on? Let's remind our readers. We're gonna do it again. Our last bite-sized was about spoilers. So it's a great place to just remind people that if you haven't listened to that, you want to hear us talk about our opinions on spoilers, being spoiled, and spoiling others. You can go and check that out if you so wish.
Young Seff, to be quite honest, was very, like, anxiety ridden, and I had to know how things would have panned out in the last book usually. So I would kind of read just, like, the last sentence or two just to, ensure my couples make it through until the end. But besides that, I try not to look for spoilers. And then if I read or hear spoilers, even if it's for, like, a movie or a show or a book, I just tend to, like, shut down and not want to watch it or read it or do whatever with it.
I don't do it, at least consciously. There's been a few times where it feels like I've blacked out, picked up a book, read the last page, and then saw something I shouldn't have, and then, came to again and was like, oh my god, what did I just do? But I don't do that, but I do sometimes, for those series where it's like it follows the same couples and stuff, I do sometimes, annoyingly enough, go and look at the reviews for the second book when I haven't even read the first one.
Okay.
Gasp.
Yeah, and I can't really tell you why I do that, but I do that sometimes.
You know what? I kind of agree with you in the sense where, like, if I'm, like, in the thick of the previous book, like, say if it's, like, the first or the second book of the series that I'm reading, I kind of, like, get so invested.
You have a little doubt, huh?
Yeah, you kind of, like, you're invested enough that you want to go searching, and, like, I know, obviously, like, you shouldn't do that, but, like, I would sometimes go, and check reviews or, like, check whatever is out there. I tend to go to reviews about, like, if it's a book, because I don't want to spoil myself too much, but if I find that the people that I know and that I talk to kind of like it the same way, or, like, I know that it's going to go a way that I want it to go, I would look for their review.
Not long ago, I found, I was looking at this BDSM series, whatever, and I was looking at the first book. And then for whatever reason, I decided to go and read the reviews for the second book, which told me that the love interest from the first book dies at the end of that book, and that this is with another guy. And then when I found that out, I was like, okay, but at least is the new guy the guy, And then so I went
Yeah.
to the third book, and it was a different guy. And I was like, what is going on here?
What the
and
heck?
I was really interested in that series, and I was like, I'm not totally against it, but now I'm a little put off, so like not now. You know, because I was like, what is going on here? What? So this is the kind of, I shouldn't have done that. But then again, I'm glad I know he's dead, you know? Like, I don't want to get invested in him if he's gonna
Exactly.
die.
You save yourself a lot of time.
But do you continue the series then, knowing that?
Oh, I hadn't even
Like, do you-
started. Like, I was
Oh.
checking out the first book, and I was like, oh, I don't know, like, something just told me, like, check out the second book, Marge. And I did. And I saw.
Are you still gonna read it though?
I mean, probably, like, it sounded interesting. I guess, like, I should just read it as, like, maybe not, like, a romance series, more like a series about, like, this guy clearly going through a lot of shit and, like, has romances along the way. Hopefully the last one is a HEA. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I should have checked that. But yeah, so I do that, like, without realizing sometimes.
But I will say there have been at least once where I don't remember what book it was, but I remember feeling like one time like I want to know how it ends, but that was just like a one-off. But I didn't go.
What book was it?
I don't remember, but I just remember that there was like one time.
Okay.
But did I do it? I didn't do it.
Okay, well, you have serious,
Well, pat yourself on the back.
you know,
then,
strength.
jeez.
Yeah.
I was really proud.
Did
of
I
myself.
do it? I did not do it. Congrats.
But yeah, thank you. Really proud.
Okay, one of my hot takes, it's not really a hot take, it's more like, I guess, a personal opinion.
I mean, is that not what it's been since the beginning?
Shut up. Can you just stop right now? Okay, thanks. I can only read long books if it's on Kindle. Because then if I see the paperback version, I just see it and I'm like, that's too long for me. That's too big. Oh.
That's can't handle that.
Is big a bad thing?
That's too
sorry.
much in your hands.
Yeah.
Too much to handle.
Too much girth.
Yeah. I think for me it's the opposite.
Really?
Yeah, I think I find it less intimidating to pick up a really big book in my hands rather than on Kindle. Because I can physically see myself moving through the pages. Whereas on Kindle, sometimes it's really discouraging to see the little thingy at the bottom not move. And you're like, wow, I've been reading for 3 hours and nothing's changed.
Huh.
So yeah, I think for me it's the opposite.
I agree with March.
I also feel like it depends on the author for me too. Like I find like Sarah J. Maas, I keep going back to her, but like her books I really only buy hard copy anyway.
Yeah.
So like that one, yeah, those books for sure. But besides that, yeah, I just find it too intimidating. I don't know why.
I find that a very interesting take, to be honest. I am puzzled by it, but
We are breaking ground here today on Romancing the Monsters.
okay. The himbo thing, I am actually really against.
Yeah.
Elaborate.
I mean, I just said yeah, and I was like, yeah. I don't know.
I have a very viscerally negative response to anyone, male or female, being called stupid.
Agreed.
And I
agree with that
think
statement.
there's a real, I don't know if it's a misunderstanding of what himbo actually means, or like people think they're like saying it in a joking manner, but it is not hot, cool, or interesting for me for you to refer to your own character as a himbo. Because what you're telling me is he's really attractive but fucking stupid. And I don't know, I have a viscerally, intensely negative response to anyone being called stupid, ever. Fake or real. Like, I just can't, I just have such an issue with that. And it's weird to me because, like, I can read the darkest ass shit, but my limit is at calling someone stupid. I don't know why, but I just don't think it's the cool thing that everyone makes it out to be. And like it's this huge thing now, like, oh, he's a himbo on top of it all, and I'm like, okay, you just lost me. I don't like this term at all.
Yeah, I don't like that term either. And I think it also goes to, like, I also really hate, like, the dumb blonde stereotype. I think it's, like, it's awful to me. And, like, I kind of find, I don't really know, I haven't tracked it recently, but I kind of, like, see, like, you know, the female character that comes in between the main couple. Like, they're kind of, like, they're sometimes blonde. And I'm like, but why are they painted as, like, this ditzy or, like, even this evil villain? Like, I don't understand this whole, like, blonde stereotype.
But you know what else? Oftentimes that himbo guy, quote unquote himbo guy, is like the guy that's like kind of stupid, really pretty looking, handsome, whatever, but in touch with his emotions. And it's like, should we really try and equate those two things? Like, oh, he's really stupid but in touch with his emotions. Like, can we not go for complex characters, male characters that are not stupid and also in touch with their characters, but also, you know, complexly done as characters, where it's like you don't need to be one. I don't know. I don't love that either. That like murky sort of in between where it's like, oh, he's really stupid but in touch with his emotions. It's like, is that the only time that they can be in touch with their emotions?
To be quite honest, I feel the sense that some authors or readers do not know the true meaning of himbo. Yeah. And they just use it.
I don't know. Maybe.
S, do you have any strong thoughts about himbo?
I don't think I've ever read a book where, or have I, where that's a type of character. Because I don't think I've ever had, like, issues. But, like, I agree with what you girls are saying. But, like, are there really books out there where authors are, like, advertising it? It's a himbo character. Like, that's the main. Oh,
I find it a lot. Don't get me started on the author referring to their character as such and the actual love interest the main character referring to their love interest as a himbo. That is worse to me. Like, I don't know, man. I don't find it hot in any way, shape, or form. Like, I am very attracted to intelligence. I need someone that's on my level. Okay, I'm not saying, like, I'm not sitting here like, oh, I'm some sort of genius, but I need someone that's, like, able to keep up with me intellectually, you know, as well as emotionally. Why can't those two things go together? And be handsome as hell. You know, like, give me what I want. Like, I don't understand this whole thing of, like, oh, he's stupid. Like, he's not super quick, you know? Like, he probably won't understand, but it's okay because he's hot and also a softie.
No, and I also see the term himbo used a lot with Kylo Ren. And, like, you know, Ben Solo.
He's not a himbo.
That's the thing. Like, I feel like people just don't understand the concept and what that means. So, like, they label these characters that are maybe like, not as well versed in, like, romance or love or relationships. They're a himbo because of that.
Like, the only time I will use the word idiot in that scenario is, like, to say, like, oh, they're idiots in love. But what I mean by that is not like they're stupid people, is like they don't realize that they have feelings for each other. That's what I mean when I say like, oh, two idiots in love that don't realize that they both like care deeply about each other, but because they're too wrapped up in everything else. I am not calling them stupid, but I do know that some people will use that term, for instance, like, oh, two idiots in love, to say like two dumbasses, you know? And I don't know. I just really have strong feelings about this. Don't like it.
No, that's fair. I don't like it either.
So, and like you said, of course, it goes both ways. Like, of course, you don't want the female character to be referred to in that way either. But I think, like, we've kind of pushed against that. But why are we doing it to the opposite sex then?
But then I also find, like, side characters are sometimes referred to that as well.
Yeah, like, it took years to unpack that. So, like, should we turn it around and start referring to attractive men who are in touch with their emotions as stupid? Don't think so. Anyways.
Yeah. Last one for me.
Oh my God.
So should I go, or do you want to keep going?
I have, like, 6.
What the heck? I feel like we should do rapid fire.
They just kept coming. Okay, so I'll say like 2 more.
Okay, and then I'll say my last one. Okay.
International authors are, or I guess foreign authors or whatever, however you want to call them, are better at not explaining shit to you, not taking you by the hand. I find that Western readers have to be taken by the hand and explained everything, because if there's any little gap that's left unexplained, we are extremely uncomfortable with that.
I mean, I don't like loopholes.
Not a loophole. An unexplained thing. Sort of like when we watched Love Between Fairy and Devil. Remember how there were things that were being shown or told to us, but not explained.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. They don't feel the need to explain every little detail of the story to you as it is happening.
Oh, okay.
It will eventually be explained when it is necessary. I find that oftentimes in Western storytelling, authors can't do that because as readers, we need to be explained everything. And if we're not explained everything in that very moment, if we don't understand the world within the first 3 chapters of that book, we're out. We're like, I don't understand this shit. Moving on.
Okay, I agree with it, but then I don't agree with it in the sense where I find that a lot of books, you need to explain things or else they just don't make any sense. And I feel like...
But you're just not okay with it not making sense.
No, like, okay, so... you can, like, leave the chat for a second and come back. I don't know. But, like, the Fairy Tale book by...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, take it off. I find that book should have explained things pretty early on. It just made for, like, a lot of confusion going on and to the point where I no longer cared. I feel like I need things to be explained in that sense with what was going on for me to have a connection with these characters, to the story, for me to care.
I don't know. I'm just not uncomfortable with being confused, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is what a lot of these Asian novels have taught me. They just don't. They're not as concerned with making sure you're not confused, and I like that. It's a different kind of storytelling. It kind of sort of takes into account that their readers are intelligent and will figure it out, eventually, type of thing. But I also feel like this feeds into this whole thing where a lot of media nowadays here in the Western world, like, if something is not explicitly explained, people do not understand story anymore. Like, right? Like, say Star Wars. Like, if it's not explicitly said the way that you need it to say it, that you need to say it for audiences to understand, then there's no room for nuance. There's no room for that gap, that great gap where literally anything can happen and you can, like, it's a space for interpretation.
No, I agree with that. And I do feel like things, like, it's a different medium, of course, like a visual versus a book. I feel like it's different being shown things but not things being explained in the media. Like, that completely, like, I agree with. But I feel like in some books that I will not name, I feel like it was more so for shock value, like keeping things up. It wasn't for, like, things to, for you to read between the lines. I think it was just shock value. And that's, I think, where the difference is.
I haven't read said book that shall not be named. So I don't know, but okay. My next one is, we're getting more and more into touchy territory here.
Okay.
I think, don't come at me with a pitchfork, not you. I'm talking to other people. I think that AO3 does better sex scenes, better slow burns, and better angst than a lot of romance novels.
That's facts.
Agreed.
I think, yeah.
And I think it's because there's a freedom to it. There's it's balls to the walls, write whatever wild shit you want. There's no expectations. There's the fact that you're not expected to make money off of that. If you want to hide your name, you can. If you want, it's literally just a platform where you drop your wildest, craziest shit and then like leave.
Because there are no expectations, right? Like you can write whatever you want. Like
there's no limits either.
Exactly. And you're not playing by any sort like set of rules.
Yeah.
Like the smut that I've written, I don't even think I could ever write that again. Like, you know, like I feel like you're playing with another set of cards.
Yeah, I just feel like for that, it makes for sex scenes that are a lot more interesting because they're written so differently than what you see in romance novels. I don't quite know how to explain it, but that sex is different from the sex in romance novels. And the slow burns and the angst, there's more room for it because, again, there's not that expectation of give me exactly what I want when I want it. They can space it out as much as they want. You want to write a fucking 500,000 word story? Go for it. Nobody's gonna stop you. You're not getting a penny for that, you know? It's just, there's such freedom to it.
Yeah, agreed.
And you can write really fucking dark things. And nobody blinks.
There's no limit.
I love AO3. Yeah. It's great. I love it there.
Again, don't come at me with a pitchfork, everyone. Too much consent is a thing.
I agree.
Let me explain. In a book where you want there to be consent, right? Because we're not here to kink shame. There are books where you do not want there to be consent, and those people are valid and justified in their own kinks, and I am not coming at them whatsoever. You do you, boo. Okay? In a book where you expect there to be consent, once is enough for me, okay? If
Agreed.
It was acknowledged once, I don't need it to be repeated over and over and over again, and for people to ask each other, is this okay, is this okay? It is not real life, okay? Again, this is not real life, okay? We are not talking about real life. We're talking about fiction, okay? If one character was asked and the other character responded and both of them are on the same page, from this point on, I do not need for it to be reiterated every step of the way.
I agree with that.
Unless it drastically changes. Like, of course, if someone is like, no, then okay, yeah. But if it keeps saying yes, if it's still in the yes, then don't repeat it.
But I do think there's exceptions to that. I feel like if there's a character that experienced, you know, sexual abuse or whatever, or maybe if they're like, they started off like, I know this is bad, but like they started off as like maybe it was rape or whatever, you know, it was dubious consent. I don't know. But like in those cases, it's okay to constantly ask for consent. Like I think that builds their emotional connection if that's the goal of the story.
No, yeah, of course. In that scenario, I would be down for it, of course. Like what I'm talking about is like, not that kind of scenario.
Yeah,
where it's literally like, can I kiss you? Can I do this? Yeah. Can I do this? Are you still okay? Is this okay? It's just, it really takes away from the scene.
Okay, Marge.
It just takes away from it for me. It takes me out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I strongly agree.
Should I go with my last one now?
Yeah. Oh, you still had one.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. For sure thought you said it. I'm so sorry. Okay, go ahead.
No, okay. It's probably one you'll all agree with. It's pretty quick. I'll literally read what I wrote.
Yeah.
People need to stop pretending to be characters from books on social media.
Oh my God.
Sarah J. Maasman on TikTok. It's legit just like to get followers.
Yeah.
And like most of the time they've never read the book or don't even know who the character is, but like they like read comments and people said, oh my gosh, you look like Reese. Oh my gosh, you're like literally Cassian. Oh my gosh, it's so fucking cringe. I blocked so many creators or quote unquote creators on TikTok because of it, and I hate it. There's so many, like, there's this one guy that plays Reese and I absolutely hate him to the point where like I cannot watch any video that he's a part of. And yeah, there's
Who is he?
I forgot his name. I blocked him. Some Tyler something. And there was another guy. I thought he was attractive at first until he started pretending he was Cassian. And then I was just over it. I was like, you're getting blocked.
Co-signed. Not to be confused with people that do cosplay. That's something else.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about the people that are like, oh, all these girls are telling me that I look like this book character. Let me, like, cash in on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they, like, have millions of views on their TikToks. And, like, yeah.
Now that I've been on TikTok for a little while, you know, just lurking.
She has TikTok. You know that, right?
What's your account so I can send you stuff?
There's one time I sent her like so many Avatar videos and she like it took her like 10 weeks to get back to me.
Cuz I didn't know there was a messaging thing. I saw the thing at the bottom. I was like, "Oh, what is this?" And I click and it's
I feel bad because I feel like I haven't gone through your.
No, honestly, I send you way too many anyway, to be honest.
It takes me a long time to go through messages. But not just yours, it's everybody who messages me.
Oh, you're popular, huh?
Shut up.
What I wanted to say was, now that I've been there for a little minute, you know, lurking, observing what it's like, I have noticed a pattern.
Okay.
And it's that on TikTok, the women are talking to the women and the men are talking to the women. Have you noticed? Like it's like women are like, "Hey, do y'all know about this new thing that's gonna, you know, save you time, save you money, whatever. Like, we're all talking to each other as, like, friends, you know, like, hey, I got you, like, blah, blah, or, like, love yourself, or whatever. Like, women are talking to women as, like, friends. And then there's, like, the men on the side, like, weirdly talking to the women. I don't know, but, like, the women are not talking to the men. The men are talking to the women, like, hey, ladies, you want to know how to, like, catch his attention? Or, like, here are 3 things that men love that women don't know about. And it's like...
What kind of TikToks are you watching?
But it's constantly that.
It's her For You page. It's
I know. She
very
needs
specifically catered.
We need to send her some, like, Turkish shows, some, like... I don't know
it's like...
But no, I get what you mean.
It's very weird, like, this dynamic. It's like men use it as, like, Tinder, and women use it to, like, talk to friends.
Oh my gosh. You know what's also really cringe? Like those videos of like men talking about like, oh, I love all women. And like they're talking about, ooh, this is so sexy. When like, you know, they're just doing it to like get likes. And it's so annoying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the women are there for like crockpot reviews. You know what I mean? Like, it's the weirdest thing. It's just the weirdest. But I kind of love it. It's like they kind of look pathetic on the side over there, like trying to get our attention. They're trying to get our attention, but meanwhile, it's like, but wait a minute, this crockpot review looks really good.
No, my favorite things to hate on, and I know this is turning into hating like TikTok, but like the posts where like the men are like, ugh, I don't like this shirt, and they're clearly like they think they look good in that shirt, and they're trying to show that they Anyways, those I cannot.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot.
Yeah, I just think it's a weird phenomenon that should be studied by someone at some point.
Agreed.
Okay. Real hot waters here. I think a lot of the romance world is really cliquey.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Now that I've been here since 2014, I want to say, it's very cliquey. You're in with the right people or you're out.
Yeah, I think so.
And I find that very sad. It's like if you don't worship the right authors at the altar, you're out. And it always all revolve around authors. Like, who's hot right now? Who does everybody, like, who's like the most popular, the whatever. And if you don't like promote their shit like your life depends on it, you're out. And I think authors are the ones that organize a lot of these cliques. I don't think it comes from readers. I think authors are the ones that, at the center, sort of like organizing everything.
I tend to just like, I don't know. Like I said, if books I feel are really popular on social media, I feel like, I don't know, like I tend to not read them, or I push them back. We've talked about that already. But yeah, no, I agree with that statement.
I guess the follow-up to that, And my last one, and this is a serious one, okay? I'm not joking about this. I actually, now that I've, again, been doing this for a while, I truly believe that you are better off not getting too close to authors. Because what I have found from my own personal experience, again, if your experience is different, then great, I'm very happy for you. But from my own personal experience, I find that there's a lack of balance there, because the author will expect you to treat them as human, to view them with empathy, etc., etc. But I find that if you are a reviewer and their friend, they will not treat you equally. You are not, they don't care about your life, but you should care about theirs.
Mm-hmm. And also, I think you fall into like that weird, the weird middle where like, if we're kind of friendly or you have like a good relationship, like this is even like an innocent relationship, like, you know, you honestly like love this person and you talk, not love this person, but love their work, and you talk about, you know, like you have similar interests and you talk about that and cultivate that relationship. I feel like you kind of feel like you have to rate a book higher than you necessarily feel that it should be given.
Or heck, that you should just buy it to begin with.
Yeah. Agreed.
And it's like, just because we're friends doesn't mean that I like will suddenly drop everything and read your stuff. Like, we're not that close, you know? Like, you're
no,
just...
but that's the thing. I feel like I kind of fall into that, where like I feel the need that I have to do it.
Of course you feel the pressure, because there is that pressure. It's never, there's always the like if you're a reviewer and they're an author, they expect you to promote them. Like, for me, I've always ended up feeling very used whenever I like was truly friends with someone, or thought I was truly friends with someone that's an author. It just doesn't work, because like we said, there's just that expectation that like suddenly you should promote them all the time, you should read their book all the time, review it, rate it higher, love it. Like, I've had an author before use my story, like a story from my childhood, and name the character using my name.
What?
And then never spoke to me again.
Do I know this?
Yes. Well, you know who.
Okay, I gotta share this after. Gotta tell me after.
But like, is that not fucked up? Because I kind of think it is.
Yeah,
that is awful.
Like, you asked me to share something, and I was like, okay. And I shared a story, and then they used that story, gave the character my own name, and then we never spoke again. And so this person is now making money off of partly, I mean, it wasn't like the whole story, but it was just like a story that kind of the character was built on. And I was like, that is messed up. I don't know. I've grown. Again, if your experience is different from mine, I'm very happy for you. If you are truly friends with authors and it works out for you guys, great. Just from my experience, I've just learned to be very careful with that, and to keep it at like a, let's chat about your books and let's leave it at that, and just I'm not gonna engage on any more than that. And I'm even like careful about stuff like, can I show you my cover reveal, or like, can I show you, because I've had people before like just use me once again to like test stuff on me, and I'm like, I used to be okay with that. Now I'm like, should I be okay with that?
Like, do you have any thoughts about author reader friendships?
Yeah, it's very iffy, and it can cross a lot of lines for sure. I feel like I've had relationships with authors where I'm just like, it's not the same anymore after a while. If you're not promoting their stuff, if you're not buying their stuff, if you're not
right,
how about asking me how I am,
right? Yeah,
it's just it's weird, because I don't know, like, it's just so many times it's like it just goes one way, you know, and it's I don't like that. Anyways, it's my final take. I would much rather stay away and just interact with fellow reviewers. So anyways, Those were our hot takes.
We might not have any listeners after this, but
right. I mean, this is not to be negative or anything. It's just a bit of fun.
yeah.
I can guarantee that about half of what's on the list, at least on my list, like, if it's something that's book related, I probably still read it even if it's not, like, my favorite thing in the world. So
Cheating, I'll never read. That's just a known fact.
I mean, that's not a hot take. I mean, I guess
That's a known take for Sephra, okay?
Yeah, but I think most people are on your side on that one.
Not me.
I think
Yeah.
the hot take is me and S being like, a little cheating as a kid, but alright, so hopefully you enjoyed that still. Hopefully we didn't, like, you know, push all of you away, unsubscribed and everything. Again, don't take it seriously or personally. If you have hot takes of your own, maybe your hot take is a hot take on what we've said.
Or yeah, maybe you
Feel
want
free to
to
share.
piggyback, you know.
Yeah,
on
off
our
of what
hot
we're
takes.
saying. Yeah,
Mhm.
or maybe your hot take is all of y'all's hot takes or shit, and that's a hot take.
That's fine. I'm ready to
We will
talk this out.
accept. No, truly, like, we do accept people that are, you know, very against what we've said.
No,
We
and like
acknowledge
we've all
that.
been saying this whole episode, like it's all opinion based. Like whatever you're allowed to love
Yeah.
what you love and hate what you hate.
Yeah, and like we're aware that some of them are a little more controversial than others, but like please know that some of them are just based off of personal experience, and sometimes that taints certain things for you.
Yeah.
Anywho, so yeah, if you have anything you would like to share with us, feel free to tell us online, find us online. You can find us on Twitter at the RTM Pod, as well as on Instagram at Romancing the Monsters Podcast. We're also on Gmail. You can also find us on. Our email is romancingthemonsterspodcast@gmail.com. TikTok is Romance and the Monsters Pod, and am I forgetting something? I feel like I am.
YouTube? Did you talk about YouTube?
Oh,
I
YouTube,
blanked out.
right. We're also on YouTube, so if you want to find us on there, just search for the name of our podcast, and you should be able to find us. If you're looking for me specifically, I am on both Twitter and Instagram at Foes and Lovers.
And you can find me on both Twitter and Instagram at But This Book.
And you can find me Seff on both Instagram and Twitter at Pros with Woes.
How much do you bet I'm gonna be like in bed in like 2 hours being like, I forgot this one. Like suddenly thinking of all the hot takes that I didn't think about.
Honestly, I feel like as the days progress, you find a new hot take.
I mean, I had one like 4 days ago, and I was like, oh, this is a good hot take. I need to write it down. And I didn't. And I forgot what it was. And now it's haunting me, the knowledge that I had a good hot take that I forgot. So,
That is the burden you bear.
guess we'll just have to do a hot take part 2 at some point.
If we have any listeners left, yes.
Yeah.
On that
Anyways,
note.
On that note, yeah, we'll see you next episode, whenever that is. See ya. Bye.